Welcome to Higher Self Mastery, the podcast for women ready to leave behind who they were told to be and remember who they truly are. I'm your host, Dharmi Schumacher. This is your space to come home to yourself, to honor the inner pull for more truth and more depth, and more meaning as you enter a new chapter of your life. Together, we're reframing midlife crisis into the midlife magic that it actually is, because this is your rebirth. Through soulful conversations and spiritual tools, you'll reconnect to your truth and reclaim your voice and live the life that your soul came here for. So let's begin. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Higher Self Mastery with myself, Dharmi Schumacher. Thank you so much for being here. So to continue our theme for December, to try and offer you a slightly shorter episode that will fit into your chaotic, busy December schedules, I really wanted to offer you some reflective journal prompts for this week for a few reasons. So on the date of the release of this episode on Wednesday, it's the same week that we also see the Winter Solstice come a little bit later, a few days later, on Sunday the 21st. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Winter Solstice is the shortest day of the year. Thereafter, the days actually begin to get longer, even though it may not feel like it or visibly appear that way to the naked eye. I promise you, as after the 21st of December, moving forward from that point, the days begin to get longer and lighter once again. So in nature, it marks the end of the year, or the end of a very important and significant period as we move out of the darkness and then begin to emerge ever so slowly back into that light once again. So it's a beautiful time to reflect on what has come past, all the things that we have done previously, to take a look back, to take a moment and just to stand still, to recognize with love, with grace, with kindness, all that we have been through, all that we have achieved, all the challenges that we may have had to face before we then carry on looking forward to what's next. As humans, we very, very naturally are always looking forward, and that's beautiful because that helps us to keep moving forward. It gives us ambition, it gives us drive, but we don't often enough stop, take a moment to pause and take stock of how far we have actually come. Now, reflective journaling is not something that's new. You will have all heard of it. Maybe you already practice it already as part of a ritual that you already do, whether that's daily, weekly, monthly, annually. But it is so powerful. I cannot encourage you enough to try it if you haven't. And if you already do it, you're going to really love this episode as I take you through some guided journal prompts. Now, please stay tuned to the very, very end of this episode, because I do have something else that I'd like to offer you at the end, especially if journaling is something that you enjoy. And even if it's the first time you do this, after taking you through these, I'm just going to take you through 6 journal prompts to keep it short, sweet, and very manageable, especially for those of you who are new to this, or maybe for those of you who are really short on time at the moment. But after you've done those guided journal prompts, if you really feel like, wow, that was valuable, that was powerful, I got a lot out of this, then you're going to hear what I have available for you at the end of this episode. So please do stay tuned. Now, not only is the winter solstice a beautiful time to take stock of how far we have come, and look back with grace and kindness, and to see how much progress we've made. But this year it aligns beautifully with the Sagittarius new moon the day before. So on the 20th of December, on the Saturday, we see the new moon. And the new moon is naturally a powerful time to rest, retreat, and go inwards, to set intentions and to really do that inner deep work, as naturally winter is anyways. But if you haven't had the chance yet because you've been caught up in the mayhem, the chaos, and the buzz of Christmas, whether it's been exciting and fun or whether it's been exhausting and depleting, wherever you are, wherever you fall into this, if you haven't had the chance, then now is the time to really do it. I strongly urge you to carve out whatever time you can. If that's just 15 minutes or 20 minutes this weekend, then please do that. If you can take longer, all the better. As with everything, the more you commit, the more you sit with intention, and the longer you can give yourself without any time constraints, the more you'll get out of this. But as always, do what you can. 5 minutes is better than nothing at all. So do what you can with what you have. Start with where you can. And then just see how that unfolds, right? If you have to do it in sections, then so be it. Do it in sections. Now, there's no right or wrong way to proceed with this episode. If you're already on the move, maybe you're out walking or you're driving and you're listening to this episode, I encourage you to just listen through. I will go through the different journal prompts. You may not be in a position right now to sit down and write down your thoughts, but the questions will still nonetheless be landing in your subconscious mind, be landing with your nervous system, and the solutions, the answers will start to rise within you, and they will start to surface and come up easily for you as you go about your day, your week. If you are at home or in a place where you can pause right now and grab yourself a pen and paper, a journal, even better. Or if you want to benchmark this for later on and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to sit down, intentionally carve out some time tonight, light a candle, sit down with my favorite cup of cocoa or herbal tea, and really just make some space and some time to do this and take as much time as I can to sit down with the questions, all the better. Do what you can with what you have. I personally, when I start to journal, I like to allow myself and give myself a window of 60 to 90 minutes, but then I love to write and I love to journal, and I know the more time and space I give myself, the more comes up for me, because there's no time constraints and you can sit with everything a little bit longer. So do what you can in the best way that feels good for you. Also, this is especially exciting for me to do at this time of year. Not only is it winter solstice, but and why I wanted to share this with you, but actually on the 20th of December, I celebrate another 13 moons cycle. So I will be entering into my 46th birthday, and I don't know about you, but for me that is a bigger marking point for me than the Gregorian calendar or, you know, the turning of New Year or anything like that, but my own birthday. So I really like to sort of look back on my 12 months of my life and see what I've achieved and how far I've come and what I've done. So it's something that I will be sitting down to do this weekend, and I really just wanted to invite all of you gorgeous ladies and listeners to join me and do that as well, because yes, okay, it's my birthday, so it works well for me, but actually it is the perfect time. The timing just could not be better, with the new moon, with the winter solstice in the middle of winter, just before the chaos of all of Christmas as well. It's really the perfect time. And if you're thinking, I haven't got time to sit down and do this, that's all the more reason why you should really try and make a bit of time for yourself to do this, because when we sit down and do reflective journaling like this, when we look back on our year to see, you know, us celebrate our progress, our achievements, how far we've come, the challenges we've had, and all of those things, is incredibly grounding. So in amongst this high energy, this chaotic whirlwind energy that is currently out there, the buzz before Christmas, which can be too much for most of us. It's such a grounding practice to do. But then on top of that, naturally, there are elements of gratitude in this work which will raise your vibration and your frequency. So not only are you grounded, but then you are so expansive and open in your heart with love. So such a beautiful practice to do at this time of year for so many different reasons. I promise you, if you can make the time to do it, you will be a better person for it. You will feel better for it as you move and go into Christmas as well then. Now, as you move through these questions, there are a number of different ways that you can do this. You may just want to see what comes up for you. You may want to go through a particular area of your life. So perhaps relationships, or perhaps your vocation, your career, etc. Or if you can and you have the time, and again, you don't have to do this in one sitting. You can do this in separate sittings, right? I invite you to go through all areas of your life, especially because this is that big annual reflection. This is not a daily, weekly one. This is the big one, right? And if this practice begins and you start it this weekend, but then it takes you the next 3 weeks to finish it, that's absolutely fine. Do it in little bite sizes. Keep coming back to it, right? So I would invite you to answer these questions in relation to your health, in relation to your relationships, in relation to your career, your vocation, and in relation to your time and money freedom. And those big 4 areas of your life, everything else will fall under, all of the other subcategories will fall under one of those 4 areas naturally. Okay, so before we start, I invite you to just take a deep breath with me. Just inhale a nice big belly breath in. And allow yourself to voice, sigh, anything you need to release as you exhale. We'll do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Just really allow yourself to drop into your body. Of course, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. But still take those breaths and notice how your energy shifts. Now, if you are sitting poised, ready with your pen and your journal, remember to pause after each question and then press play again as and when you've finished and you're ready to move on. For those of you who are just going to listen through to the whole episode first, I will give you a short pause just so that there is a little bit of time for you to reflect. But I won't stop for so long. I'll keep the momentum going. Okay. So we're going to journey through 3 different sections. And the first part is to look back on your year. So the first question I would like to invite you to ask yourself, what 2 or 3 different moments of 2025 were your biggest successes, your biggest challenges? What taught you the most? 2 or 3 moments of 2025 that really stand out for you as big lessons, big challenges, big growth, big successes. Second question. What are you now done carrying? What are you no longer willing to put up with? No longer willing to accept? What was so draining for you Where did you feel out of integrity in 2025 that you are no longer willing to continue in that way and are ready to let go and leave behind? Okay. So those are just a couple of questions to help you get thinking about the year past. If more comes up for you, allow yourself to write freely. Just see what comes up. Your pen will naturally may start to take you in different trails of thoughts, different experiences. Don't hold yourself back. Allow it to flow freely. Question number 3. So now I'm going to start to invite you to take a look at where you are after these 12 months. So my first question for this section to you, question number 3, or journal prompt number 3, is who are you today? Who are you now? How do you identify today? What has changed? 4th question. What are you most proud of today? What are you most proud of in yourself, in what you've done for you to be where you are, where you're standing today? What are you most proud of in the person that you've become? List as many things as you can. Okay, now moving into the 3rd and final section. Now this is where, so we've looked back on the past 12 months, taken stock of the things that we may have had to navigate over the past 12 months. We've taken a look at who we are now as a result of those experiences, those choices, those decisions, those successes, those challenges, whatever it was that came up for you. And now let's take a look at where we want to move to, who we want to be, where do we want to be this time next year in the future. So my next question for you is, in 6 months' time, where do you see yourself? In 6 months is a beautiful marking point, especially if you are doing this around the winter solstice, because it naturally brings us to the summer solstice. I like to work with those 2 sacred days as markers, but you could just as easily pick 12 months. Now, it is just as important, in my opinion, to have that really big vision as well of the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan. That's not something we're going to go through here today in this episode, but it is something that I absolutely will take you through if you do choose to go deeper with this work. So, but for now, I invite you to ask yourself, where are you in 6 months' time? What are you doing? Who are you with? What does your life look like? What does a typical day in your life look like? And your final question, what 1 or 3 simple steps can you take to commit to that future self so that you actually achieve that? And those dreams are not just sitting in your heart and in your desires, but come summer solstice, it is your actual tangible reality, something that you are living, breathing and living and experiencing. So what small steps can you take that you can commit to today that will help you to reach that point? And those are your questions, your journal prompts. I would like to remind you that we are still in the midst of winter. So even though I invited you to take a look forward for where you want to be next year by summer solstice, this time of year is still about seeding and planting those seeds. We're just incubating those dreams. It's not about taking lots of action out there in the world, but more about peeling back those layers, really getting to know ourselves, really honing in on our truth, on what really aligns for us, so that the seeds that we plant are pure and integral to what we are, who we are, and what we desire. And it's not coming from a place of ego from our mind or from fear or from expectations from the external world, but from our true self. And we're planting those seeds just like you would plant the bulbs. In October or November, you plant the tulips, you plant your daffodils. They do not come up now, but they are getting ready. They're getting settled in their environment, just slowly starting to put their roots out. But very, very slowly, they're keeping their energy closed within themselves. You're providing the right environment, the warmth, the moisture, the nutrients. So then when spring does arrive, they are ready to burst through, break through the soil and come forth and shine. And this is the same for your dreams and your seeds of your dreams right now. Yes, we are looking to the future of where you want to be by summer solstice in 6 months' time. But this is more about dreaming it, getting clear on it in your mind's eye, writing about it, setting your intentions, manifesting, putting down the roots and the seeds of this and getting really, really clear in yourself. Maybe at the very most, it might be things like planning things out or taking on upskilling yourself by learning new things that are going to help you to get to what it is you want to achieve. So all of that back of house work, that's what you're doing. And then when spring equinox comes, you will just be ready to burst through, full of energy. But right now, just keep that energy closed. Keep it inside yourself. Keep hold of that energy. Don't use it up just yet. Just allow it to nurture those dreams inside. And I said to you, if journaling is something that you enjoy doing, I hope even just those 6 questions there that I took you through, hopefully if you've had the time to sit with each one for even 5 minutes at the very least with each question and really allowed your soul to start to speak, your truth to come to the surface, then you'll be able to see the value in this practice, this ritual. But in my honest opinion, if you've been tuning into my podcast for any time, you'll know that I love journaling. It's such a powerful tool to allow your inner truth to come out. I personally, when I do this process this weekend on winter solstice, or maybe even on the night of my birthday, I will sit and probably do this for about 60 minutes or 90 minutes. If not in one sitting, then I will spread it out. But I will work with many, many more questions. And I would love to offer you and invite you to do the same. For those of you who do want to go deeper with these journal prompts, I have a beautiful offer for you at a very affordable investment of just £11. You can have access to my PDF and guided meditation. So we went through a quick journey just today on the podcast where I took you through the process of looking back at the past of the 12 months that you've just gone through, your current day situation, where you are today, and then looking forward. And we do the same. We follow the similar trajectory, a similar journey in the PDF, but with each section, rather than just having the 2 questions, we are able to go a lot deeper, where I offer you anything between like 4 to 6 questions in each section. And because it's yours, you can self-pace it. You can do it all in one sitting. You can do a couple of questions every day and take your time with it over the course of the winter holidays. But then also you get a beautiful guided meditation as well that will support the reflection and inner inquiry that you do as you move through these journal prompts. And I appreciate it's right before Christmas. Most of us out there have emptied our pockets. So I really wanted this to be accessible to everyone at a very low investment of just £11. And it's a process that you can reuse time and time again, not just this year, not just next year, during the winter period next year, but at any point in your year, your life, where you feel like you want to really close one chapter before you begin another chapter, you will be able to go through the very same process, the very same questions, and it will aid and guide you through that as well. So if you are interested in that, please just send me an email. My email is iam@dharmischumacher.com. That's iam@dharmischumacher.com. All the info will be in the show notes below as well, so you don't have to remember that or scribble that down. And if you have done these journal prompts and followed this along with the podcast, I'd love to hear from you how you found it, any realizations, aha moments that you may have had, or just generally how you found this process. I always love hearing from you. Next week, it will be a very special episode. It's Christmas Eve release, and I have a beautiful guest podcast episode. So please do make sure you tune in for that as well. Have an amazing week. This is the final week before Christmas, so stay calm, stay grounded, make time for yourself, be kind to yourself, nurture yourself, and don't forget to have fun. Enjoy it. Take care, and I will be back here real soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Higher Self Mastery. If something landed, moved you, or sparked a shift, I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and share this episode with a woman in your life that is also ready to rise. And if you found value in today's conversation, please take a moment to rate and review this podcast, especially in these early days. It really helps others to find this work too. If you're craving deeper support and sisterhood, join my mailing list using the link below, where you'll be the first to receive free meditations, learn about up-and-coming retreats, and other ways that we can work together. Until next time, honor your truth and trust in the timing of your becoming.